Hi there, Mommy. Today I want to tell you all about dream feeding and how to go about it. Are you ready? Let's go. Be confident and successful in your breastfeeding journey. Now, my definition of dream feeding is feeding baby while they're still asleep. This is a useful tool for lots of moms and babies to get a little longer stretch of sleep at night, but it doesn't work for everyone. If it's not working for you, you might try again in a few weeks. And for some moms, it works great for a while and then all of a sudden, baby doesn't want to do it anymore. So you have to work with what works best for you. This is a great tool for babies from about 6 weeks to 6 months old. You can do this on babies younger than 6 weeks, a form of it where you're feeding baby in a dream feed, but just know that those babies should be waking up more often and should be more fully awake when they eat so that they can take in a larger volume of milk at a time. Now, for those babies that are younger than 6 weeks, or babies with special needs, or babies with low weight gain, you'll want to talk to your doctor before you do this. And again, keep in mind that those babies probably need to be fully awake to eat. And this works great for breastfed babies, or for bottle-fed babies, you can do dream feeding. Now, of course, you want the room to be dark and quiet if possible. If you haven't looked at it before, you might check out baby white noise machines. They usually have a little bit of a night light on them, and it just helps that they're not hearing if you bumped into something or an outside noise. If you don't have one of those, that's totally fine. You might just hum or sing softly as you come in near the baby to help them not to hear if you were to bump into something or if there was a loud noise outside the room. Babies have a natural suck reflex, so they usually will latch easily, even in their sleep. Baby may not eat really aggressively because they're not super hungry at this point, and they're not going to get a large volume of milk. But what they do get, especially if you're feeding from the breast, is a higher amount of fat, and that helps them to sleep that longer stretch. Now, if you let babies, some babies will stay latched at the breast all night if you let them. And that's all right to decide how long you're going to let baby latch. So it could be 10 minutes, it could be 30 minutes, whatever works best for you. This is a good time, even if you're bottle feeding, to hold baby close, and it helps you relax. So breastfeeding or bottle feeding, even touching your baby, releases oxytocin, helps you to feel good, helps you to relax. Now, when you're done with your dream feed, some babies, especially a younger baby, needs to be burped, and they'll usually burp fine and stay asleep through that burping process. If your baby's a little older and they don't have any reflux issues or tummy issues, you can usually just lay them down. But if they do have a little bit of those tummy issues, if you just hold baby upright for a few minutes, even just a couple of minutes, that usually is enough to let the gas bubbles come out and they don't get that tummy issue. Now, when you go to lay baby down, it can help if you'll put your hand under their legs and up against their bottom as you're laying them down so that they don't jerk and doesn't wake them up a little bit. Or you can roll up a towel or a blanket and put down, and when you go to lay baby down, have that under there for just a minute until they look like they're getting back into a full, complete sleep, and after just a minute you can take the blanket away. Or some babies do well swaddling. So if you do a swaddle wrap around your baby and they sleep that way, that's great. Of course, some babies do well with their hands in, and some do well with swaddled without their hands in. So whatever works best for your baby. Also, sleep sacks are really helpful. They feel a little more secure, and they're swaddling sleep sacks. So I'll put a link to those if you want to check them out. But those help a lot of babies to sleep better just in general, even if you're not dream feeding. Most moms do dream feeding by getting baby ready for bed at their normal time, get them in their jammies, maybe a bath, change their diaper, and feed them, say at 7 or 8 p.m. Put baby down for their sleep, and then when you get ready for bed, maybe at 10, 10:30, then you're going to dream feed baby. If you didn't do the dream feeding at this time, then they might sleep from 8 p.m. until 11 or 12 and need a feeding. But if you do this dream feeding when you get ready to go for bed, then it helps them to have that little extra to sleep a little longer, and then you get a longer stretch of sleep right off the bat. And that's the best time for you to get some sleep, is those first few hours of your rest time. Now, if some nights you go to bed at the same time as baby and you didn't do dream feeding, don't worry about it. Baby will wake you up when they're hungry. So if you don't purposely dream feed every night, that's totally fine. You have to do what works best in your schedule. Now, dream feeding is not sleep training. Sleep training is training a baby to sleep through the night, usually without a feeding. And for breastfeeding moms, I'm not a big fan of that. So I encourage moms to still let baby be in control of when they need to eat. When you're dream feeding, you're just taking a little bit more control over that and just encouraging them to feed at a time that works better for you and baby to get a little longer stretch of sleep. I know that it can be so hard emotionally and physically if you're not getting enough sleep. So I hope this helps you to get a little longer stretch of sleep at night. If you are talking to a mom who has a 6-week-old and she's bragging about her baby sleeping 8 hours every night, just know that that's not typical. If your baby is under 6 months old and they're just barely getting 6 straight hours of sleep at night, that's normal. 6 hours under 6 months old is considered sleeping through the night. I hope this was helpful. Give me a thumbs up, please, if it was. That helps it to spread to other mommies. And let me know if you have other ideas of videos that you want me to cover for you. I'd love to do that. Thanks a lot, Mommy. You got this.